But here's what is so annoying. That Abby Phillip is annoying. She is such an interrupter. Like, shut the F up. Let him make his point. If you want to fact check him later, then do. Shut up, though. CNN has got an aversion to letting the words come out of the candidates' mouths. And it's really a disservice. Even if you don't agree with what he's saying, you invited him. Let him say it. Then
I think he came off looking better.
I agree.
In that exchange.
Yeah.
Like, given the circumstances of like how terrible a job she was doing, he made the best of it. I mean, like, it's insane that he had the situation of where someone from CNN makes him look better by like saying, well, the facts may not agree with you, but is so terrible about it, and gives him the opportunity multiple times to dunk on her and being like, okay, since you're not going to allow me to finish, it's clear that you don't want me discussing it. It just adds more weight to his argument if it seems like he's being censored.
That's exactly because like he's making a point. And I mean, we could get into all the things that are wrong and the point he's trying to make. But when you interrupt him, you're giving him exactly what he wants.
Yeah, totally.
Which is now, it's like, oh, well, I must be on to something because they don't want me saying.
What are we hiding?
Yeah.
What's out there?
Right.
Huh?
Which is,
I too am like, I'm leaning in. The more she's
right.
trying to censor what he's saying, I'm like, what's he saying? Why is she so averse to it? Like his words are so vile, they cannot be uttered. They can be uttered. Abby, let him finish. You invited him there. Let him make his damn point.
I do think, she jumped out on him way too early. So what he said was, we know there were federal agents there on January 6th. I think it would be, what he then subsequently said, it would be naive to assume that there were no federal agents. They could be there for benign purposes, for just monitoring extremist groups. Sure. But we know is that right-wing vigilante groups are crawling with law enforcement and FBI informants.
So it strikes me that he would actually be better served just answering her questions, since through the combativeness, he was able to articulate some points that I think a skeptical CNN audience would do well to hear, as opposed to just what sounds like a summary accusation.
Sure.
So Vivek Ramaswamy saying, not that he said it was an inside job, but that there were, the government knew this was going to happen, their informants were in the field, and they perhaps even instigated it and encouraged it and wanted it to happen. It was a false flag. Again, I'm not saying that he said that, but however you want to characterize it, we all get what he's getting at. If a CNN audience who has never heard any substantiation of those claims hears that, they're not going to believe it. So Abby Phillips asking a follow-up question where she says, okay, what is the proof of that? What is the evidence of that? That's actually a really important question that he should say, thank you for the opportunity to explain. Here's what we know. And he later ends up getting into some of the stuff about the Gretchen Whitmer plot and all that, which is important to be able to unpack for the audience.
Yes.
The thing about Vivek Ramaswamy is that I think sometimes he chooses to make an enemy out of the interlocutor instead of taking it as an opportunity to give the answer that he actually has. He's not unprepared. He has answers to these questions that might even be persuasive, but they do get lost when you presume that every question, even the most anodyne question, of course, Abby Phillips is going to ask a follow-up when you make an assertion. What is the factual basis for that assertion? That doesn't make her out to get you. She's doing her job as a journalist. Wait until you're asked a leading question, an unfair question, which Abby Phillips has the capacity to ask. Believe me, I'm not some big defender of her, as we talked about yesterday with the 2020
You're a defender of
debates.
Abby Martin, not Abby Phillips.
What was the response to Ramaswamy's controversial remarks? Did they go over well in the room?
So the watch party was actually at Ramaswamy's Des Moines, Iowa headquarters for his presidential campaign. So obviously there were supporters in the room. They were really, keen to what he was saying and receptive. They applauded during the January 6th remarks, similar to the town hall audience. And I actually spoke to a woman there who told me she didn't like the anchor, Abby Phillips. She said that Phillip came off as mean towards Ramaswamy, but everyone there was very supportive of his comments. They really feel that as a candidate, he's speaking the truth. Voters here in Iowa are really receptive to what Ramaswamy says. I heard a woman telling him yesterday, actually, that her husband is in jail because of his activities during the January 6th Capitol riot. And so Ramaswamy saying that he would pardon those peaceful protesters, is really resonating with voters here in Iowa. These conspiracy theories, Ramaswamy has not been able to point to concrete evidence, but these conservative voters here really like what he has to say.
I think he was cooking because they was clapping for him on CNN. He's a Republican.
Yeah.
Oh, at first I thought they was clapping for her ass.
They kept
clapping for him.
Well, I mean, they're at the Republican presidential town hall. So, of course, they're going to be Republican.
Well, I was thinking because it was CNN. I just think CNN.
I don't like the way she kept interrupting him.
That's so annoying.
Like, lady, if you're going to ask a question, at least let him finish his answer.
Facts.
Look, well, Mr. Ramaswamy.
And respond after. He said respond after.
Like, lady, shut up. Like, you're so unprofessional. Please.
She looks good too, man.
And props to Vivek Ramaswamy for this, truly, because a lot of candidates, knowing they're taking a little bit of heat, taking some criticism, could easily just back down and just walk back what they were saying. But instead, he doubles down, once again defends the point he was making. He's a very articulate guy. He, several times now, I think this is round 3 of him making that one anchor, I don't even know her name, but the CNN lady looks stupid. And it's all very true. So with that said, folks, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below.